Greetings from the veteran. Welcome to my video about the max defense strategy for France in Global War 1936, version 4, technically 4.1. Um, to note, this strategy is not based upon Germany always attacking on turn 7. That is not a given in this game. Germany can attack any turn they wish. It is fairly often done on turn 7 with their Blitzkrieg ability, but it can be done much sooner or even a turn later. In a game I am playing right now that is actually pretty ridiculous, um, Italy attacked on turn 2, and Germany followed up on their turn 3, and France did not see a turn 3. Now that is the absolute probably earliest I've ever seen and will ever see France fall. Um, but it did happen in a game. Now it was a pretty casual, fun game, but and there were other circumstances that led to France was spending its money outside of France in Africa, and so that helped Germany overpower the French as well as the Italian support. And they attacked on their turn 2. But anyways, this is a max defense strategy for France, and I'm going to go over basically turn by turn how best to go about it. Um, so on turn 1, you start with 6 IPP, and the goal is to start a fort on turn 2 and finish it on turn 3 for Paris. Um, um, so with the 6 IPP they start with, the plan is to turn 1 save. Turn 1 saving $4 out of their 6, spending just 2. And buying a militia upgrade and placing their new sub. So the plan is efficient movement to take all of the units out of Africa as quickly as possible to get them to France. So turn 1, what's going to happen is you're going to grab the infantry off of Cochin China with the transport B-50. Then it's going to go 1, 2, 3 to I-4, dropping off the infantry in French Somaliland. And then the transport in M2 is going to go 1, 2, 3 to M9. And the militia in Syria is the one we are upgrading. That's the transports. Um, the Navy doesn't matter so much on max defense, but I do like to get a couple French subs in the Pacific if I get an opportunity to raid Japan because they go free French. So I'll move at least a couple subs over a couple turns to P50 here off Malaya, Cochin China. And one French sub at least. I like to move towards Germany. 1, 2, 3. Turn 1. Turn 2, I can move 1, 2, 3. Turn 3 can go 1, 2, 3. Or 3 to A7, going 23, 6 to A7. And then from there it can raid Germany without threat of a seaplane. And then it can also go 1, 2, 3 to go inside the Baltic and raid that German line. On turn 4, 2, 3. Turn 4, can make it there. Torpedo boat destroyer, we don't mind sending over to the Pacific. Other than that, we are going to send our medium bomber from Paris. It's not very good on defense. It's better to save that for later game. After France falls, so what we're going to do is turn 1, move it to Normandy. Turn 2, put it on map. Maritime Air Patrol and A-21. And then basically our French Navy is going to help defend it while it's on map and vulnerable in the sea zone, including these boats over here, at least after a couple turns of movement. Okay, there we go. I'm gonna put this somewhere, the new one, maybe. Pardon me. So that's gonna take care of the Navy. And actually some French boats. Probably good in A-22. Probably the battleship and destroyer enough to defend the medium bomber while it's on map. And then Once France falls, you land the medium bomber in southern England. And then do with it what you will. Or what you can do is turn 1, fly the medium bomber from Paris down to French Morocco, and turn 2 you can put on map in A44. When France falls, then it will survive, as any French aircraft on map can survive as long as they have a landing spot. And then it can land in Gibraltar and be used the next turn in Africa, potentially. And if you're going to do that, you could probably just put the whole French Navy in A22, which helps protect both your coast and the English coast. If the Germans wanted to launch an amphibious assault, they would have to clear the sea zone. So that's going to really help you, because they do start with a transport, and if they're going to surround you, using that transport is going to help them do that. So there's two ways France can fall: via surround and via losing Paris. Uh, and you want to do your best against both options, and in order to cause the most damage to Germany. It's most likely that France will fall when Germany attacks, but it is possible that France can hold out for at least one turn. If dice go poorly for the Germans, or they have bad strategies, send too many units against Poland, etc., etc. Um, so, in the beginning, we're mostly wanting to protect Paris and the Maginot Line, and because the Maginot Line is just so powerful. The only wrinkle to this early turns plan is that the light tanks can blitz, and if Germany builds an airborne for their air transport they start with, they're threatening the surround. But so what we're gonna do is focus our units in Paris and Alsace-Lorraine. Artillery. So that's something like a turn 1, plus the naval movements, and putting the medium bomber on map in A44. Um, actually, one more infantry leaving Paris. So turn 2, gonna take our transport here in I-4, Gulf of Aden, load up the infantry in French Somaliland, use strategic naval movement, go 1, 2, 3, 4, drop off in northern Algeria. The infantry in Syria is gonna hop on the transport, go 1, 2, 3, drop off in northern Algeria. That's your turn 2. Naval movement. And turn 2. The turn 1, you're going to collect 6, probably $7 with Germany annexing Austria. Turn 1 is pretty likely. So you'll have $4 saved plus likely 7 collected is $11. You can spend 5 to start the fort. On turn 2, start it with a construction marker, with an under construction marker. Just so you're aware that the fort isn't finished yet. And then that's 5 of your likely $11, so you have $6. And the idea is militia, militia, militia. Quantity in numbers is great. They make great casualties, and the militia will defend really well in Paris, which is going to be a fortified city. And so I can buy 3 militia. And actually, it's probably a pretty good idea to have each territory with a militia at least. So it's not so easy to drop an airborne anywhere. I'll walk in. So turn 2, your defense might look like this. Turn 3, you're going to have less money. You're going to collect 7, maybe $8. So you're going to spend 5 to finish the fort. And then buy a militia. And
I got it. I moved you.
And then next, by turn 4, you're probably still okay in Alsace and Paris. You might want to move another infantry back to Paris. The infantry class are going to defend the best in the fortified city. And then on turn 4, it's gonna be pretty likely that you'll have 8 to spend via German annexations, causing your income to increase. If 2 have been done, then you will have collected 8. Or you could add 7 again, or even just 6. But again, the goal is militia. So turn 4, you're probably able to afford 4 militia. So we're gonna place 3 in Paris. And 1 into Alsace. Alright, so now our Paris defense is looking really strong. Because the militia will, on round 1, are going to defend at a 4 and get target select at a 1 against vehicle class. So like the light armor or any cavalry. And then the infantry are going to defend at a 6 on round 1. And the fort's going to get 2 first strike shots. And what a fort in Paris does is prevent blitzing into the city. So Germany cannot like attack Belgium and in round 1 a lightning war and then attack Picardy and blitz into Paris. It's just a really great defensive strategy to have a fort in Paris, and it protects the whole city from all sides. It's just really efficient and powerful. So probably by turn 5, you're gonna want to switch gears from defending the Maginot to defending Aquitaine. So we're gonna buy 4 more militia, or maybe 3 militia and an infant. Oh wait, no, I'm not gonna do 4 militia. We're gonna buy 1 militia, 1 infantry. That's 5. Then we're gonna spend 4 on a AAA. And actually, the previous turn, instead of 2 militia, probably would have bought a AAA. That way we have 2. We could have 1 in Paris and then 1 in our army outside of Paris. So turn 5, we're going to move our motorized down to Aquitaine. We're going to move the AAA that we built on turn 4 in Paris. Going to move it to Aquitaine. Turn 5. I'm going to rail the artillery. Oh wait, the motorized is going to tow the artillery. And then we're going to rail. And then we're going to move 3 infantry from Alsace into Paris and 3 infantry from Paris into Aquitaine. And we will rail the mountain down to Aquitaine. And you're probably okay. No, that's fine. So on turn 5 we place the AAA in Paris. Place a second militia in Alsace. Just protection against going through the Maginot Line. And an infantry into Paris. 6, 7, 8. And actually we could move one more infantry over to Aquitaine. The reason why you want to move to Aquitaine on turn 5 is on turn 6. Well, turn 5 is Germany's first turn. They can buy mechs and medium armor. And so they're going to have a greater blitzing force to attempt this round with. And you want to force the Germans to use as many units as far away from their home country as possible. So, like, none of their slow movers are gonna make it down to Aquitaine. You're gonna be fighting only tanks and any mechs if they decide to go for this round and attack you in Aquitaine. So to have 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 units plus a possible fighter scramble to protect Aquitaine against like 5 tanks and a couple aircraft is going to be strong. No slow movers can make it down to Aquitaine. So you are stressing the German offense and killing units that are more valuable rather than the slow movers that can make it to Paris. So if France lives past turn 5, they get to see a turn 6. Then I'm probably at that point just adding more militia. So you're buying like 4, and you're going to want to spend every dollar you have. So that would be $8. I think you can have a max of 6, 7, 8, 9. You could have a max of $9. If you saved $1 the previous turn at all, then you would have 10, and you could buy 5 militia. So you're gonna want to move 2 from Alsace into Paris. You're gonna want to move 1 more infantry into Aquitaine. Actually, 2 infantry into Aquitaine. Then you can place 2 militia in Alsace. And you can place your 3 new militia into Paris. Oh, and sorry, I forgot, but the transports on turn 3 offload the Foreign Legion and 2 infantry into southern France. And then we'll go ahead and add the Foreign Legion into Paris and 2 more infantry into Aquitaine. Actually, we'll put 1 more infantry in Paris. So your defense of Paris is going to look like something like 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. How many militia? 1, 2, 3, 4. The 7 militia. 1 fighter. Basically 5 infantry. And 1 AAA. That's like 14 units behind a fortified city. And all but 2 of the units are getting buffed by the fortification and the city. Fortification in round 1 and the city in round 2. So the infantry are going to defend as well as the fighter. And then in Aquitaine you're going to have 4, 6, 7 infantry, 8 infantry. 1 militia. 2 motorized infantry. So basically 10 infantry, a militia, AAA, and an artillery. And that's basically about the best defense you're gonna get. Either direction the Germans want to go, they're gonna have to, if they want to bring air power to support their attack, which they're probably gonna need it, they're gonna face AAA fire and scramble opportunities from air base in Paris with the fighter. Your Navy is going to protect against amphibious assaults. And you should deal a lot of damage to the attacking German army, which is the basic goal of a max defense. And it is not likely for France to fall any later than turn 7. The Germans obviously do start with air supremacy. They start with a couple of fighters, tactical bomber, medium bomber, air transport, and then they annex Slovakia, get another fighter. And they start with the larger income in France. So, yeah, that's it. That's going to be my video on max defense of France. Good luck in your games, and I hope you do well.